Hey, what's up everybody? Gabriel here from Chrome Unboxed. Today we're continuing our coverage of CES 2021 and Acer sent us over their latest Chromebook. It is the AMD Ryzen-powered Chromebook Spin 514. We're going to take a look at it. This is by no means the first AMD Chromebook on the market, but it is one of the first devices to come out with the new C-Series chips made by AMD that were specifically designed for Chrome OS. HP and Lenovo announced theirs a couple of months ago, and Lenovo's is actually available now. Acer just announced theirs this week at CES, and it'll be available probably February, March, but this will be the first one that's actually aimed at the consumer market and the enterprise market alike. And why that's a big deal is because AMD offers comparable processing power to the Intel CPUs that we see in Chromebooks right now, but you get those Radeon Vega graphics, and that means better GPU power, which means better Linux apps, hopefully better Android apps, and just a better experience at a lesser price, because AMD generally comes in $40 to $100 cheaper depending on which CPU you're talking about. That's enough about AMD. Let's talk about this Chromebook. If it looks familiar to you, that's because it's very similar to its cousin, the Acer Chromebook Spin 713. That was our top pick of Chromebook of the year of 2020. It has an aluminum bottom, aluminum lid. The keyboard deck is either magnesium or plastic or something like that, and the overall build quality feels very similar to the 713. It doesn't feel cheap. In some ways, it actually feels like the fit is tighter than the 713, and that's probably because this one comes with a mil-spec rating. It is drop tested, it's spill resistant, and it takes 132 pounds of downward pressure on the lid, because even though they're going to be marketing this to consumers, it's also going to be marketed directly to enterprises, and they need devices that will hold up. So overall, the build quality is similar to the 713, but it's definitely more rugged. But it doesn't feel bulky. It's about a millimeter thicker than the 713, so it doesn't feel unwieldy or anything like that. But overall, the design quality is very, very similar, and in some ways it might even be better. Like the 713, this is a convertible, hence the Spin nomenclature. You can use it in a 2-in-1 form factor, as a tablet, tent mode for presentation, all of that. It has a touch-enabled display. Acer didn't specifically say it's USI compatible, but we grabbed a pen here in the office, and I grabbed one at home, and it worked with it, so we're presuming that it is USI compatible. Acer's not offering a pen with this. Acer doesn't have their own USI stylus, as far as I know, but it worked with a USI pen, so we're just going to say it's USI compatible until we hear different. So speaking of the screen, it is different from the 713, as this one is a 16:9 aspect ratio, so you have a 1920 by 1080 screen, full HD. You just don't get that 3:2 more vertical space like you do on the 713, but it's plenty bright. I'm going to say it's probably 280 to 300 nits. Of course, like I said, touch screen. It's Gorilla Glass, so it's made to be tough and stand up to dings and knocks and things like that. But overall, the display is very good. The colors are really good. The viewing angles are really good, and this will be a great device to have sitting on your desk at home, or if you are a business type and you're out on the go and you're in different lighting, this screen's going to be a good one to use. For the inputs on the Acer, the keyboard's really good. It's a standard run-of-the-mill Acer keyboard, which is good. I like Acer's keyboards. Their keys are good. They're clicky. They have good travel, but they're not loose and rattly like some other devices. The backlighting is optional on this version, so if you get the base entry-level model, it will not have the backlighting, but as you go up the tiers, it's added as an option, and the keys are black, so the keyboard light looks good. It's not like some of these devices that have gray keys and everything looks washed out. It just works. I mentioned the trackpad is not glass, but it is Mylar or some sort of really good composite, so it's not floppy, it doesn't flex a whole lot, it has a good click on it. It's not glass, you can tell it's not Pixelbook Go, it's not Galaxy Chromebook, but it's good. It's good enough that when you're working on it, it doesn't feel cheap. Then around the sides, because this is aimed at enterprise and consumers, they've kind of mixed up the ports a little bit. You will get two USB-Cs for DisplayPort, power delivery, all of that. You get a USB-A for legacy devices, chargers, and things of that nature. If you go for one of the higher models, now this isn't necessarily restricted just to the Chrome OS Enterprise upgrade, but if you get a Ryzen 5 or a Ryzen 7, it comes with with an HDMI port. And when we talked to Acer, they said the decision for that was because the bigger processors are probably going to be the ones that the enterprise guys are interested in, and they're the ones that are going to want an HDMI port because they're traveling to the office. They want to be able to hook up to a display or a screen or whatever. And it's a more productivity focused feature. So if you want that, you're going to have to get the Ryzen 5 or the Ryzen 7. And speaking of Ryzen, back to the processors, this is Ryzen's 3000 series. So the processors aren't exactly new, but they've rebranded them the C series because they were tweaked specifically for Chrome OS. So the selection is going to be an Athlon Gold, a Ryzen 3, a Ryzen 5, and a Ryzen 7. I've looked around for some benchmarks, and I'm really honestly not sure which one's more powerful, the Ryzen 3 or the Athlon Gold. But if you're trying to put it in terms of Intel Chromebook, just think Pentium Gold, Celeron U series that you find in a Chromebox. Ample enough power for the average consumer, but also probably not what you're going to want to buy if you're looking for something that's going to run Linux apps and stuff. For that, you're going to want to look to the 5 or the 7 because those are quad core. They have 8 threads, so you can use hyper threading and all of that. Plus, all 4 of these processors have Radeon Vega graphics, which we haven't been able to do benchmarks on this because it's a pre-production model, but we really believe that that GPU, once Chrome OS is able to leverage it, is going to offer a lot more GPU power than Intel's UHD graphics. And until Tiger Lake and XE graphics come along, that means that the AMD APUs could be the better option for people who need more processing power. So price. Starting out, the entry-level device is going to be $479 when it's released here in February or March, but that's going to get you 64 gigs of eMMC storage, 4 gigs of RAM, and either the Ryzen 3 or the Athlon processor. We don't have pricing on the higher tiers yet, but the one we have in-house is the Ryzen 5, 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of NVMe storage, which that's the top tier option for the storage. You can go all the way up to a Ryzen 7 and 16 gigs of RAM, and your storage options range from 64 all the way up to 256. Other than that, there's not really anything else to talk about as configuration. So until we know pricing, who knows? I'm really hoping that this is going to fall somewhere in around the $800 to $900 range. But if we're looking apples to apples, Lenovo C13 Yoga with the same processor and same RAM as this device costs $1,200. I really hope that Acer does not price himself out of the ballgame with this device. Probably do a little more hands-on with this one and share what we can about it. But next month, when we can get our hands on one of the retail units, then we'll do a full review and let you know whether or not AMD's new processors stack up against the current Intel choices. That's about it for this one, guys. I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up, click the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you get an alert next time we put a video out. We'll see you.